Hey guys, I'm going to give a review of today's trading session. It was a little sloppy for me, but it is what it is. Price came up and we hit this daily volume imbalance. To go to the daily time frame. So we bounced off this daily volume imbalance. I wanted to see it get into the daily gap, but we did not get that on either of the indices. So then I was looking to target lower once we started moving down below this gap because I was like, okay, maybe we just bounce here and go back up higher. But since it fell through this gap, I was looking to target into this range, into here, and then down to the midnight open down below this area here. And then we also had this low here on ES, which was a clear low for me to basically take partials on if we get into that area if I'm trading Nasdaq here. So basically we came down and then we used this as a breaker. So this is the order block. So since we broke it, it's a breaker now. And since we broke through that breaker, I was looking for potential shorts. So we broke down and I wanted to see a rejection in this area for us to go short. And in this area here, we had bearish SMT. So we had a higher high here, and then we had a lower high here. And that was bearish SMT. Now I'm looking to see if that wants to continue lower. So 1 minute time frame. You go into this 1 minute time frame here, you see that we have this gap that's sitting right there. So we inverted this gap. We came back in, so we failed it, and then we reclaimed it here. So that's a pretty good entry, in my opinion. But what do you see here? There's something I don't like about this. So once we did that, we had this bullish SMT here at these lows. I don't like entering a trade like that. So I only entered on the eval, and then the trade ended up going in my favor. So I didn't enter on the funded on this trade. So stops were down here. All right. Trade came down, pushed back in, and then basically we inverted this 1 minute gap now. So if you see this 1 minute gap that's sitting right here, and then I said, if we're going to go bullish, we're going to go respect this high. We're going to push higher. So we didn't go bullish. We ended up going bearish. And once we got that candle closure here, notice how we had more SMTs here. So we have this high made lower, this high here made higher, and then I entered right here. This is where I entered. Stops were right up here. Actually, they're right above this high here. And then I was targeting down to midnight open. So I entered, chopped around, this candle. What does this candle do here? Makes equal lows. So we are higher here. And guess what? This candle here, look how I hit that purple line. That's the higher time frame liquidity. And when I've seen that based on my history of watching charts, it now has a 50-50% probability, where here it had 70 to 80% probability based on this. That's what my probability entering there. 70, 80%. Let's say 80%. That's where I'd be at with that trade, just based on the SMTs, draws, and liquidity and everything. So now we have a 50-50 chance. So what did I do? I closed it out at break even, but then it ended up trading down to here. This would have been a break even anyway, because I wouldn't have closed it until we hit this midnight open, or this midnight open, which we didn't even hit there. So ended up basically retracing. So break even on all the accounts. But based on structure, I also didn't enter this again on the funded, this next trade I'm about to tell you about, because we didn't hit the lows and it just happened too fast for me. And I was like, we didn't hit the midnight open gap, so whatever. So basically, we had SMTs at the lows here in the wicks. We shifted up, inverted this gap. Okay. Once we inverted this gap here, I entered on the evaluation here. I didn't enter on the funded because I only enter A plus setups on the funded, which this was an A plus. This was probably a B, B plus. In this trade here, I'd say maybe like a B, because we didn't hit the midnight open. We ended up shifting up. Then we came down, retested this breaker here, and then traded up. And I was targeting with that 50% of this range. So you go from the high to the low, 50% is right here above this liquidity point. And look what happened. We moved up, we came up here, we had a lower low here, then a higher low here. So then we ended up creating that bullish SMT in this range while reinverting this 1 minute fair value gap that we used earlier for the sell entry. So we reinverted it. And then we ended up respecting it going to this high. And then that's where I took the partials on the eval. And then I came back down and then closed the rest at break even on the eval. But notice on the eval here, we made this low here. This low took out this liquidity. That's likely to hold. Okay. Since we broke it, we came down in this area and we rejected this low. So this area needs to be respected here if we are going to go long. But guess what? It disrespects it again. But the RR entering here is horrible. Okay, to go down to the midnight open. Horrible, horrible, horrible RR. So that's not a good entry. Anyway, 2-minute time frame. We have a fair value gap right here. Notice how we respect in this area here. We have the higher time frame SMT. So we have a higher high here, a lower high here. And then based on that, we go to the 1-minute time frame. You can see that we also have more SMT right here. So this high here is lower here. So that's bearish SMT in this area. Very clear. You can see lower high, higher high in that area. Guess what? Now, let's delete all this shit off my screen so we can kind of see what's going on in the market. We come down, we close down below this 2-minute fair value gap. Okay. We come back into it. We come up, create the SMT, close down below it. When we close down below it, with the SMTs up here and right here, we have higher probability of it going down here. That is a B setup. But I already entered so many times in my eval, I didn't want to take another trade because I already entered this short and then this long. I didn't want to give back the profits I already made. And since it's a B setup, I'll explain that in a second why, I didn't take it on my funded. So go to the 1 hour. You'll see at this time, actually you can't even see it on the 1 hour right now because the new candles are formed. But anyways, right here, we took out this liquidity here and we took out the liquidity here. Yes, we didn't hit the midnight open yet. But with that being said, since we already took out this liquidity, entering in this range when liquidity is taken makes the risk a little higher. Okay, so I would give this a 60% probability of it winning because yes, we have this SMTs, but with this here, with that low being taken here, 60% probability. So I did not take that, and then there was nothing in here for me to take. But anyways, that's just me. I'm learning. Been trading for 6 years. Finally turned profitable. Had some payouts last year. Now it's more just consistent with everything over the long term. Just getting into options as well, selling some puts. I do day trade some options too, but those are more shorter time frame ones. But yeah. But anyways, if you guys got any questions, feel free to reach out. Yeah, love you guys. Peace out. Not financial advice.